Welcome to the lecture of Python for Data Science. In this video lecture, we will continue our topic, that is the implementation of the Beautiful Soup. We will see the Python code for that. So in the Beautiful Soup, we have to see the web scraping. Web scraping means we will get some HTML content from the websites and we will organize that HTML content into some tabular form. So that we will see using the Beautiful Soup library. Then we will continue with our unit number 3, that is you are getting your hands dirty with data, and in that we will see the topic, that is understanding the tools and getting the help mode in Python. So this is my Jupyter Lab. You can also code in the Jupyter Notebook. So we have to deal with the IPython notebook, that is the extension is .ipynb. So you can code in the Jupyter Lab also and in the Jupyter Notebook also. It doesn't make any difference. So for the Beautiful Soup, we want to do the web scraping. So for that, these 3 libraries you have to install and it is the must. So what you have to do? In the Anaconda prompt, you have to write the syntax like this, that is the pip space install space request. Then you have to wait for few seconds. After the installation of the request, start installing, that is pip space install space HTML file library. And for the Beautiful Soup, that is the short name is BS4. So you have to write like this, that is the pip space install space BS4. So before implementing the web scraping using the Beautiful Soup, you have to install these 3 libraries. Now starting with getting the contents from the website. So over here I am importing the libraries, that is import space request. If your request library is successfully installed, then this particular cell will get execute very easily. Otherwise it will throw an error that the request module is not defined. So over here I have already installed my request library. I am creating one object and my object name is, that is the URL, and in the URL I can give any URL. So in the Google I am searching for the URL. Suppose I am writing Wikipedia Sparrow. You can take any website of your choice. I am clicking on this Sparrow Wikipedia and this is my particular website. Now I am copying this particular link. I am copying this and I am pasting it over here in the URL as the variable, or you can say as the object name. So whatever the HTML content is there on this particular URL will be collected by using this particular get function which is present in the request library. So you can write like this, that is request, that is the library name dot get as the function, and as an argument you are passing this particular variable, that is your URL variable. So whatever your content is will be stored in your object called R, and what you are doing is you are printing, that is print r.content, that is you want the content which is present in this particular object called R. And I am running this particular cell. It will take some time to execute because the file is very large. After the successful execution, it will show me the output. So this is my output, that is the HTML content of the URL that I have specified. So this is the HTML content. How you can verify that this is the correct HTML content or not? Just click this particular URL that you have copied, right click on this particular page anywhere in the blank space and just click on view page source. When you click on the view page source, then you will get the HTML content of that particular URL. So this is the HTML content of this URL. You can see over here, if I zoom it out little bit, then it is showing me that doc type it is HTML. The HTML class used is client-node.js So the same content you can find over here. You can see over here that is, it is the doc type is HTML and HTML class is client Node.js. So that particular HTML content you have loaded into your Jupyter Lab using the Python code. So you can do that with the help of request library. Now what I am doing over here is, this is my complete cell. Let's move over here. Now I want to scrap a website and I want to save the codes from the website. So for that I'm using this particular URL, that is the inspirational codes. So if you want this particular URL to get open, then just copy it and just paste it into your new tab. So this is my URL content. So this is my website of inspirational quotes, and you can find it over here that there are various inspirational quotes related to the health, related creativity is there, courtesy is there. So these are the different, I can say, the different parts or different sections in this particular website. So back to our Jupyter notebook. So over here I am writing import request, and now I am making use of the Beautiful Soup library. For that I am writing from BS4 I am importing the Beautiful Soup class, and over here I am passing this URL, that is my URL of the inspirational quotes. I am writing request.getURL. So whatever the HTML content is, that will be stored in my object called R. Now instead of printing r.content, over here I am making use of the Beautiful Soup constructor, and in that I am passing two different arguments, that is r.content over here, and as a second argument I am writing HTML5 lib. It means the website is using the HTML5 content, and then I am printing, that is print soup.pretty5. Where this soup came from? It came from this particular object from here, and this prettify is the function which is available in the Beautiful Soup. So what will happen? Instead of printing r.content, I am prettifying it the content. So what is the difference is, you can easily view the difference in the output. Now you can see over here that your content is prettified. It means your each and every line of the HTML is like this. It is now showing in an organized manner. You can see the previous output, all the contents are in a single line. As the line gets over, it will continue in the second line. So it is difficult to read such kind of content by just using the request library, but if you make use of the Beautiful Soup library, then you can see the content like this in an organized manner. It means you are prettifying it the content. You can see over here the HTML is in the next line after the doc type, then comes the head with some tab, then comes the title with some tab. This is the title, then the title gets over in the same line, then meta starts, and then the link tag starts. So these all are the HTML contents from that particular URL. Now let's see how to scrap a website using the Beautiful Soup. So for that I am using the same URL, that is the inspirational quotes, and I am storing all the contents, that is r.content, which is the HTML5 content, into my object called as the soup. Now I am creating a list, an empty list whose name is quotes. Then I am creating one object table, and in that I am storing this value, that is the soup.find. I want to find the division whose ID, whose attribute ID is all underscore quotes. So where this soup came from? It came from this particular object. So whatever our content is, that is r.content, we have read that content using the Beautiful Soup, and it is present in this particular soup object. Now all the HTML content is present in the soup object. From that I am finding this particular division whose ID is all underscore quotes. So just open your website, that is the Inspirational Quotes. Right click on it and click on the view page source. This is the page source, and you can write like this, that is all underscore quotes. You can find like this. So you can do Control F and you can find the content like this. Then you can see over here there is one division whose ID is equals to all underscore quotes. You can see over here that there is one division whose ID is all underscore quotes. So that ID I have found using the find function. Now what I am doing is my complete that particular division is now stored in my table as the object. I am writing the for loop, that is for row, that is my variable. In table I want to do find all. The division who contains the attributes and whose class name is like this, that is the COL6 and this particular, so I am giving this particular complete line. So what is this? This is my attribute class and this is its value. So you can also do the search over here. So just press Ctrl F and just copy paste the content. Then you can see over here that you have so many divisions who contains the class and its value is like this. So these are the contents which is highlighted. So this all the contents I have found out and I am storing it into my row variable because I am using the for loop. Now into this particular quote as my object name, what I am doing is this row contains some h5 tag. So you can see in the row that it contains some h5 tag like this. You can see over here this is the h5 tag. So this particular division, every division contains some h5 tag. So what I am doing is I am extracting that h5 tag. I am also extracting the hyperlink, that is ahref. So this row also contains the hyperlink like this. You can see this is the ahref. So like this I am also extracting the image source, that is imgsrc, which is also present over here, that is the image source. You can see this is the image and its source is over here. So this is what the HTML is. If you have the knowledge about the HTML, then you can easily extract it. So like this I have extracted all different contents from the HTML and I am storing it into my various variables like this, that is the quote theme. I am storing the text that is written in the h5. Whatever the hyperlinks are, I am storing it into the quote URL as the variable name. Like this I am storing all different 5 objects and I am writing quotes.append quote. So what will happen? This is my quotes as the list. This is my single quote and I am appending all this. So after the theme, URL will be appended at last. After URL, image will be appended at last. Now over here what I am doing is I am writing file name equals to inspirational underscore quotes underscore .csv. So this is the file name, that is the Excel file, or you can say the comma separated file that you want. So what you are doing over here is you are extracting the HTML content from the website and you are organizing it into some tabular form. So in a table form you will get the output. So this is the file name that I want to create. So I am opening that file. I am opening that file with the help of the write function. You can have two different functions that we have seen in the MSc, the read and the write operation, with which you can open the file. So this is my file name, that is the inspirational quotes. I want to open in the write mode and I want everything in the new line and I am writing as F. Now I am writing this file, that is csv.dictionary-writer. With the help of this function you can write a file. So my file contents will be from F, because this F came from here, and in the file I want the different labels like this, that is the theme, URL, image, lines and author. So you are giving the header and you are writing in the file row by row. So you are writing w.write_row, and as an argument you are passing the quote, that is the quote author, quote theme, quote URL, quote image and so on. So when you run this particular cell, I am running this cell, so this particular cell has run successfully. So you can see over here. Now you can click on the file browser, this particular option on the left hand side, and you will find one file like this that you have created, that is the inspirational_quotes_.csv file. When you double click on it, it will show some error like this. So what you have to do to open this file, you have to download it from here. You can download it from here, or you can directly open it from its source path. So where the source path is, just place the mouse pointer over here in the folder and it shows the path as C drive, users and HP. This is for my computer system. So I will open C drive, users, HP, and you can find this file over here. This is the file, that is the inspirational_quotes. This is my comma separated file. You can see like this. I am double clicking on it. So this is what my file is. So all the HTML content is now organized in a tabular form. So this is my theme column, this is my URL column, this is my image source column, and so on. You can find two different columns, that is the line and the author. So what you have done using the web scraping, so whatever the HTML content is in your website, through the web scraping, by using the Beautiful Soup library, you have organized it into a tabular form, so you can read it very easily. So this is what all about the Beautiful Soup is. Now let's see how to get into the help mode in the Python. So for that you have to open the Anaconda prompt. So I am opening this Anaconda prompt, and in the Anaconda prompt you have to write down Python and you have to press the enter key. And to get into the help mode, you have to write the help function like this, followed by the parenthesis, that is the rounded brackets, and just press the enter. Then you can see over here that it shows me the help function like this. So over here you can write down the various keywords. So suppose I am writing over here the keywords like this, then you can see there are different keywords which is available in the Python, the list of the different keywords which is available in the Python. That is the false as the keyword, class as the keyword. So these are the keyword that you can't use as the variable name or as the function name. You can do the formatting, or you can increase the font size, or you can change the color by right clicking on the prompt, that is the title bar. Click on the properties, click on the font, and you can increase the size of the font from here like this if you want. So this is how you can change the font. Also you can change the background color. So suppose I am clicking on the background color like this, then you can change the background color. You can see at the end it is highlighting like this, that is the help. So you are still in the help mode. So if you want to quit the help mode, then you can just press Q like this and you can do the enter. So they are telling that now you are leaving the help and returning to the Python interpreter. So this is how you can exit from the help menu. Now which are the different commands that will be helpful to find out the help from the Python. So let's see that. So you can type any of the following commands to obtain the listing of other topics of discussion, just like the modules. So what the modules will do, it compiles a list of the currently loaded modules. So this list varies by how your copy of Python is configured at a given time. So let's write modules in the help function. So I have typed Python. Now to entering into the help mode, I am writing this function, that is the help function. And now at the end, I am writing modules. So this particular modules as the command. So let's see what it will do. It will take some time to execute. So let's wait for it. So that module command has successfully executed, and it shows me at last the help function, and my cursor is blinking like this. So this all above is my output of the module function. So it gives me the list of the libraries or the modules which are currently installed in my configuration of this particular Anaconda Navigator. You can see the Matplot library over here. That Matplot library is installed. It is alphabetical order of the this list shows the different modules name in an alphabetical order. So you can see over here that recently we have installed the NetworkX library, so it is showing me the NetworkX also. It will also show the Pandas library. So you can find out the Pandas library which is over here. So these are the various different libraries that is installed in your Anaconda configuration. So when in future you are installing some of the libraries, this list will get changed. If you are uninstalling some of the libraries, then again there will be some difference in this particular list. So you can see over here that Beautiful Soup, that is the BS4, is installed. If you are not installing the Beautiful Soup and directly running this help function, then you can't see the BS4 module. So this is what about the Python help is. We are keeping it till here. We will continue the different help commands in Python and in the IPython. We will see the difference between Python and the IPython, and then we will see the magic functions in our next lecture. So keeping it till here. Thank you all.